Hey guys, Brian Barrera, CEO LC Innovation. I got cut off on the last video. I was at the 15-minute mark. Doesn't go over 15 minutes. But yeah, I got cut off. I was in the transcend phase. If you follow the pivot, adapt, create. If you pivot quickly, right? Adapt, a little more adjustments, a little more time is going to be needed. And then you create. Adapt, let me get into adapt a little bit more before I jump back to where I left off in the last video. Adapt is more like a new certification that's needed, right? A technical assessment that your clients give you. Um, a client comes in and says, "Hey, you know what? A new supply chain manager comes in, a new supply chain director comes in, a VP of supply chain comes in and says, "Hey, Brian, you know what? I know that you worked with us for the last 15 years, and we never did a proper audit. I don't want to use our other audits. I know that you guys ran a very difficult product for us, or if you guys, did a difficult training for us. I totally understand that because you're the only person that knows about that training. That training is a little ancient. I want to update it to a more present times, right? I want to really do an audit and a technical assessment of your business, or I want to do a cybersecurity test with you guys, whatever the case may be. Once again, every single video, whatever the case may be, right? I'll probably do it multiple times, but it's for something that's really going to make you change your organization, not all the way, but you are going to have to adapt. It's not just a quick pivot, right? It could be something where you need to get a gap analysis done for to figure out the gaps that you have in order to get that certification that the new supply chain manager wants. What happens if the FDA creates something new, where a new policy or a new certification that you're going to need, and it's really going to change the way you run your organization, right? And I've seen this happen before. I've seen this happen. Even it could be something as simple as when somebody comes in procurement into one of the new and one of the new roles, like a VP of procurement, and they come in and the customer you've had has never even talked about this kind of stuff. They've never been involved with procurement. They've never been involved with supply chain. They've just been a small company that was able to create something incredible. And they loved working with their suppliers that worked as hard as they did. And everything was great. And then they got bought out, or they expanded, or they hired a new CEO, a new GM, whatever the case. And they came in, that's number two, whatever the case. And they came in and they're now telling you, hey, this is the way we're going to run our business now. And sometimes it could be something as simple as a memorandum of understanding. It could be a technical assessment, a sales agreement, a sales contract. They could come in and say, hey, listen, you know what? We're open to any idea, but we want a 3% year over year cost deduction, price decrease, whatever. We do want that. There's so many different things you can do. Most companies get scared and they say, like, you know what? I can't do that. I can't. Okay, well, then we're going to pull all of our stuff from you. Go ahead. We run very difficult stuff, or we run a very difficult product line or a service for you that you're not going to be able to find anywhere else. Okay, well, I guarantee you these smart supply chain people and procurement people, they're going to try to, right? Because they know how to get it done. They know how to evaluate, analyze, and assess a supplier that can do something for them. And these people are not scared. Trust me, they are not scared to tell one of their favorite existing suppliers that plays ball with them, hey, you know what? We have a lot more work from you if you're able to do this. Then they come back and say, I can't do that. I can't do that. That's not in our core competency model. Okay, cool. What if I give you this amount of work and I give you 2 years to create this, and I'm able to start paying you up front, or I'm able to invest a little bit into your organization to create something like this? Or I have people that are specialized in this industry or in this market or in this operation, and I'm going to have them go to your facility to show you how to build it. They can do stuff like that. Because when they do a cost analysis or an ROI and they're telling you that, hey, we want to get into this industry or into this field or into this technology, yeah, it might cost them $2 billion. But if they're a $15 billion company and this product line is losing them hundreds of millions of dollars year over year because it's such a difficult product to run, trust me, they're going to put a cost analysis together that's going to show them that plan B is the way to go. Plan A, those current suppliers don't want to play ball with us. They have a lot of scrap, or they don't do a service the right way, or they charge us way too much. And over a 10-year span, it's really going to cost us a lot of money, a lot of losses. In this one, up front, yes, we're going to have a lot more costs up front, a lot more, $2 billion worth, but we're going to be able to vertically integrate. So we're going to be able to vertically integrate that product, right? And then on top of that, by us jumping into running our own, we can then marry these processes and train our other facilities that run a similar product the same exact way, right? Or run it more efficiently. But then when we do that, we're also jumping into another industry where we can actually grab some market share because it's a growing industry, right? It's a rapidly growing industry with a CAGR of 34%, right? They are going to factor in every single thing because that's what they're professionals at. They're going to factor in all that stuff. So all you had to do was play ball. All you had to do was say, "How about this? How about you give me 5% more revenue, and I'm able to give you those 3% deductions year over year." Hey, Brian, that sounds great. I'll tell you what, why don't you come to my facility, use me as a case study, show me where I can improve all the processes, and from there, I'll be able to give you that price deduction. You know what they'll say 9 times out of 10? They'll probably tell you, you know what? Let's go 50-50 on that price reduction. Let's go 50-50. Let's not even do 3%. We'll do 50-50 on that price. If we're able to find you 3% cost savings on the product you run for us, we'll go 50-50 on there. Then after that, if you pass that and you become a case study and you become one of the favorites of that director or that VP and they start using you as a case study, then they start promoting you to the other divisions, the other companies that are aligned with that business, that organization. There's so many departments. Great. Let's just say it was in the medical device field. The company that you're helping your customer is in vitro. Oh, great. In vitro is a booming industry. They get you into the in vitro segment, and then from there, at the management review meetings or at the quarterly powwows, whatever you want to call them, the corporate meetings, blah blah blah, they meet someone that's in diabetes care. Diabetes care is having a lot of issues with all their suppliers, and they tell the person in charge of the in vitro segment, "Hey, do you know someone that could do this product for us? We're not running it well at all. Our suppliers, they're not passing the knowledge from the original founders to the new employees, to the kids of this private industry. um, they're not passing that knowledge, and the new employees coming in, the new leaders coming in, aren't really interested. I think they just want to sell the company, to be honest with you. So I really need to, mitigate this risk, and I really need to get a new supplier. Oh, I got a guy that loves to work with me, or girl. I got a person that loves to work with me. I'm going to give you their contact info." That's how it starts. So pivot, adapt, create. I went over that. Create's going to have its own with the blue ocean strategy and the balance scorecard and all that stuff. But then you jump into transcend of what you need, right? You've tried everything. You've fixed some things. You've created a new strategy. And the reason why I went over adapt is because I feel like I didn't go over adapt as much as I did pivot and create. So adapt got his due diligence, but transcend. It's once you've done all that, now you get ready to hire your employees. Now you know what kind of employees you need. Now you know your strengths and weaknesses. Now you know how you can offset those weaknesses and increase the amount of strength, right? The focus on that strength. Now you know what you got. And now you can actually hire the right people, promote the right people. You don't always need to hire a subject matter expert to become your best manager. Sometimes subject matter experts, they become horrible managers. They can't manage people because they're the Michael Jordans, right? They're the champions, but they're not the GMs. They're not the coach. They're not the owner. They're that great basketball player. They're that great athlete, that great performer. That's what they are. They don't want to be that manager. And sometimes what happens is when you have that great engineer, that great salesperson, and you make them into a sales manager, right? And you need reports, you need analysis, customer analysis, a market analysis, and they never get it done. However, that salesperson is always with their client, which is fine, but that's more of a sales rep. That's not a sales manager. The sales manager is okay being at the desk, is okay watching everything that's happening and analyzing the sales, analyzing the projections, analyzing new clients coming in. What are the requirements of those new clients coming in? What are their sales reps doing out in the field? What events do they need to go to? That is a sales manager. A sales manager manages the sales of that organization, and they pay attention to that industry. That's what that is. And sometimes when you get that MVP salesperson into that role, they can't stand it. So what happens after that? They end up becoming bitter, resentful. They never wanted that position. They actually were making so much commission that now that they're in a managerial role, they're at a base salary, and they no longer make commission. So yeah, they got a huge raise, right? An hourly raise or a salary. They got a huge raise for their salary. However, what happened was they lost their commission checks. And because they're not doing good at managing people, right? Their next commission check was based on what their team grew, but because they were the best salesperson, they weren't able to increase sales with the staff that they were overseeing because they were that best salesperson. That engineer or that technician that runs a machine so well, that does a CAD file so well, that creates things so well, that understands the properties of the minerals, that understands the properties of the steel, that understands all these things, and they're just incredible at it. But you put them in charge of a bunch of other engineers now, and they get frustrated with each one because each one is not able to do what they were able to do at a high level, at a peak performance. So they're not able to do what they were doing. So now it's just it's just chaos because now they're watching each and every person, micromanaging each person, and they're not doing what not only made them good at their job, but they're also not doing what made them happy. They were happy as that subject matter expert. They were happy as that manufacturing engineer. That's what the quality engineer, that's what they were happy with. So that's Transcend. It's understanding who to hire using the 5 tool approach, which we've gone over in the videos. But it's pivot, make a quick pivot, get the low hanging fruit, talk to your existing clients, understand how quickly they can introduce you to new markets or new clients or new sister companies, then adapt more adjustment to external factors, to external forces that can really cripple your business, your industry. And then if you miss something, if you totally didn't catch something, or you see something on the horizon that is going to take over your industry, is going to put you out of business, you have to create something based on that strategy, based on what you're seeing out there. And once you have all that stuff ready to go, then you transcend. Then you transcend all your employees, transformational leadership. You transcend, you go above and over your limits, or what you thought your limits were, because now you're hiring the right employees, now you're creating the right vision, you're transcending the organization, and sometimes in doing that you can transcend a whole industry. You can make them all look up to you and try to catch up to you, right? And if you do that, you create disruption or you avoid disruption. But once again, I hope I showed you now why I say that this is a great model, but it's a structural framework. It's nothing that I've created from scratch. It's all the great stuff I've seen out there. And I structured it in a format where you can follow it step by step. What's phase one? What's phase two? And that's what this is. That's the PACT model. So yeah, enjoy, guys. And in my next videos, I'm gonna get into each phase. I'm gonna get into each model on how it influenced me, how to use it in the field. And man, we're gonna really tear it up. All right. Thank you, guys.